Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these chocolate cake squares. They are so moist and so delicious and very easy and simple to make. If you want to know how to make them, then just keep on watching. Now to begin with, we are going to cream together the butter and the sugar in a bowl. Now I'm using an electric whisk just because it's much easier, but you could also do this by hand. Now once that's done, I am just going to take a spatula and just run it around the side just to make sure everything is combined. We're going to crack in one egg at a time and give it a mix between each egg. Once the mixture is creamy and pale in color, we are going to add in the coffee along with the milk. Just give everything a very quick mix and then we're going to keep going with the dry ingredients. So in a bowl I'm going to add my flour, cocoa powder, vanilla sugar, and also the baking powder. Give the dry ingredients a very good mix to get them evenly combined. And once that's done, we're going to add the dry ingredients to the wet mixture. Give everything a nice mix again, but take care not to overmix the batter, otherwise the cake will become very tough. And then once that's done, we're going to take a spatula and scrape down the sides. Now we're going to grease a baking dish with some butter. Make sure to go up the sides so the cake don't stick, and then we're going to line it with some parchment paper. Pour the batter in a baking pan and then we're just going to make sure that everything is even using a spatula. Give it a few taps just to get rid of any air bubbles and then we're going to pop it in the oven for about 35 minutes. Insert a toothpick in the thickest part of the cake, and if it comes out without any wet batter and it's clean, then you know it's done. I'm going to allow the cake to cool for a bit, and in the meantime I'm going to make the glaze for the cake. So in a saucepan over about medium heat, I'm going to add my butter and I'm just going to let it melt down, and this only takes about a minute or so, and just reduce the heat so it doesn't boil. Once it's there, I'm going to add my coffee, and this brings out the chocolatey flavor of the cake, but you could also replace it with some water. Then goes my cocoa powder along with my vanilla. And the last thing that goes in is the powdered sugar. Now you're going to give everything a very good stir, and you want this to be over very low heat. You don't want anything to boil or so. And that's pretty much done. At first it looks very thin, but then when it sets it will thicken up. Now we're going to work on the cake, and I'm just going to take a knife to loosen the sides and get the cake out of the pan. Now remove it to a cutting board just to make it easier for myself. And using a knife, I'm just going to cut the top of the cake just to make it even. It doesn't have to be perfect, just make sure that it's even, and that's it. Now I'm going to remove the cake from the baking paper, and then I'm going to transfer it to a nice and clean plate, turning it upside down. And using a toothpick, I'm going to stick some holes for the glaze to sink in slightly. Now as you can see, the glaze has thickened up a lot, and now we're going to spread it on top of the cake. So I'm going to pour everything all over my cake, and using a spatula I'm just going to make sure that there are no uneven spots. Just make sure that everything looks good. Although it doesn't have to be too perfect because we're going to cover the top with desiccated coconut. Now you can sprinkle over however much or little coconut flakes as you want. I just like to go overboard because I think it stands out very well against the chocolate. I like to cut this cake in 12 squares, so I go 3 across on one side and then 4 across on the other. And that's just how I prefer, but you can cut it in however big sizes you want. I'm gonna serve my chocolate cake squares on a very simple white plate, and that's just simply because I think it looks very beautiful. Now this cake is moist and fluffy, and that glaze makes everything. It's so delicious, you have to try it. If you like this recipe, don't forget to check out my other amazing recipes as well, and subscribe to my channel to get notifications as soon as I post something new. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!